Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, my name is the Ripper Danny B, and welcome to an update on Championship Wrestling Revolution. Now, as you all know, we have finished Season 1 in Exodus. Came to you a week early because I couldn't contain myself any longer. I was getting so excited about putting out what I've got for Season 2 and what I'm going to be looking forward to, and I know I'm well in advance. This is going to be coming out even before the release of WWE 2K17. However, I couldn't hold it back any longer, so we had everything filmed, so I put it all out. I hope you did watch it. If you didn't go and watch it, go back now, because there are going to be spoilers in this video as to what happened in Exodus. Seriously, go watch it. Like, now. Go. You watched it? Good. Now, as you all know, Season 1 has been fairly successful for me. Over time, things have run up, and we had a great pay-per-view to kick it off, to finish it off. We had Immortality before that as well. I know I have been questioned about why I decided to do the big show before the end. And I don't know, I guess I just felt like it had time to play out the stories then, and we're just kind of rolling back into things. It shouldn't be dictated on the release of the new game. So that's why I did it. I always had it in mind that my big pay-per-view would be in August. So it was. Simple as that. So what have I got for you in Season 2? Well, over the next couple of weeks, there is going to be a couple of different announcements. But I'm going to lay out pretty much the structure of what we're going to be looking at next season here with you today. And then there'll be a couple more videos moving on. All the way up until 2K17 comes out. And then I'll be doing some work with that. Some work on this channel that isn't necessarily CWR related. I will be unboxing the NXT edition on the day it comes out, and hopefully have the video up within hours. I was going to do a few kind of release game footage and such, but I guess kind of considering that 2K have let so many people take footage and release it anyway, that's kind of all been done, so I might not do that. We'll see about that. But as for CWR, now I did intend to start the second season in the last week of October. However, as many of you probably know, and if you don't already, I'm going in for surgery at the end of October, and if you don't know anything about that, please take yourself over to my Virtual Ripper channel, which is my vlog channel. I'll leave a link to it both in the description below and in the card above my head right now. So go check that out, and that'll explain everything about that situation. So it does mean that I may not be able to get started when I wanted, so I'm thinking as long as everything comes together, I'm going to start it a week before and just hopefully backlog a few videos for you all. So hopefully. It all depends on how long it takes me to get to grips with the community creations, because obviously I've got a lot of work to do in that respect. And that leads me on to my next point. Now, up until this point, especially for the last number of months, Asylum has been 2 shows a week. We have one on the Tuesday for the men's division, and one on the Thursday for the women's. And that's worked fairly well, with sporadic pay-per-views every 2 to 3 months. And that's worked well, but I feel like I can do more. And so I've decided that CWR has come up with the most original idea you've ever heard of. That's right, a brand extension! Yes, seriously though, I am going to be doing a brand extension, and this is how it's going to work. You've already got the show you know and love, Asylum. That will now be coming to you every Monday. And then I've got 2 more shows to give you. Now, how this is going to be decided is that the men have been split into 2 distinct rosters. The women will have their own unique roster. They will still be completely separate from the men, mostly on their own show on Wednesdays. That show will be Horizon. And the second men's group will be Revolt. There will also be a 4th brand. Now, the 4th brand is going to be more of a developmental brand. That brand will feature both males and females. It will have 1 championship for each male and female. No tag team, no secondary championships, nothing of the like. That will be coming to you every Sunday that there is not a pay-per-view. It's pretty much as simple as that. And that show is Dynasty. Now that will be a much smaller show. It will kind of it'd be a smaller production. It'll be more of a kind of an offshoot, kind of like NXT dumbed down. That's what it will be. So that's what you've got. Anyone that has been on the roster already in CWR that hasn't had a great year will be on that show. Basically, like if their win percentage records are like under the 40 or 30%, something like that, they'll be going on to that show. And I mean, there's a couple of guys in the CWR that literally have 0% win rates because they've only had 1 or 2 matches and they've lost them. So there's that. That will be Sundays, every non-pay-per-view week. Now, with that said, also every new person that comes into the CWR will go into Dynasty at first from now on. With the exception of already established WWE stars that are making their first appearances in the next game, names like American Alpha and Apollo Crews, they'll be going straight to the main rosters. So, with that said, obviously we need to split the brands, and that has already been done. I have already performed the draft. I know who's going to be on each show. You guys will find out this time next week on the draft show, which I will be putting out. And hopefully I'm going to be putting a bit of effort into that and making it, quite the spectacular show thing. Obviously all the women will be going onto their own show. They don't need a draft. Although I will be letting you know during that draft show who has been drafted to Dynasty. That probably won't be as spectacular because it's just going to be kind of, the developmental league. So with that said, let's move on to the next part. Now, we all know how the championships have laid themselves out at the end of Season 1. Obviously, in the women's show, it makes no odds. The Patriot and the Women's World Championships will be going with Legend Jezzy into Horizon. The Triple S Championship, held by Nikki Bella, will also be going in, as well as the Tag Team titles, held by Stormy Bliss. They'll all be going into Horizon. And there will be one other champion... Oh, yes, no, I got it right, didn't I? There will be one other championship coming to Horizon, and I'll get to that in a minute. As for the men, this may give away a draft result or two already. Consider it a little bit of a good luck charm, a little bit of a teaser. The CWR World Heavyweight Championship, currently held by Dolph Ziggler, will be going to Asylum. It will be staying on the show that you know. The CWR World title will be going there. For the Men's Patriot Championship, it will float. It will be the only championship that floats between both shows. The champion will appear on both shows. He will be drafted to a specific brand. The champion, of course, currently is Rusev. He will be drafted to a specific brand, and when he loses the championship, he will go back to competing only on his own brand. But while they're champion, they float. Also, each brand is going to have its own set of tag team champions. The current tag team belts, of course, are held by the tandem of Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose. How this will work is wherever the majority of those 3 men are drafted will be where those titles end up. So if all 3 men are drafted to one show, all 3 men will continue to defend those titles on that one show. If 2 out of the 3 are drafted to a unique brand, whereas the 3rd is on the other, the titles will go with the 2 men who will then defend the belts in a traditional tag team. It's as simple as that. Also, of course, speaking of Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns, that match in Exodus was also for the CWR Revolution Championship. Now, at the time of making that match, Aldous Noble declared that the Revolution title would mean more than they knew. Now it's time to explain that. The Revolution title itself will be discontinued. That title is now officially vacated. Seth Rollins was the last champion. He, however, now does not have that title. However, in its place, the Revolution World Championship will be created, positioned as the top title on the Revolt brand, and that title will be immediately awarded to Seth Rollins. That is how that works. So each brand has its own unique title. You know where that is. You know where the Patriot titles are. You know where the tag team title situation is. If whichever brand doesn't have a tag team champion, we'll decide one. as time comes around. However, both male brands and one for the females as well will have a gimmick title, as it were. Asylum, the male brand, and Horizon, the female brand, will both be receiving a hardcore championship. That title will be defended every single time the champion is in action. That championship can be defended anywhere in the building at any time, and of course with the additions of backstage brawling and in the crowd fighting in 2K17, obviously that makes that a lot more viable. So that's what we'll be looking for on Asylum, and that's what you'll be seeing on Horizon. On Revolt, their championship will be the Cruiserweight title. A brand new and unique Cruiserweight championship created for the Revolt brand. Okay, it's not the most unique idea in the world, but it gives a place for those cruiserweights to showcase their talent. Now, for our Cruiserweight championship division, the weight limit is 215 pounds and below, not 205 like in the WWE. That does obviously open up a few more avenues for me and my brand, so you will probably expect to see some of the cruiserweights drafted to Revolt for that reason. We'll have to wait and see on that. Also, we're looking at authority figures now. Now obviously Aldous Noble, the Warden, has looked after Asylum for the past year. He, in kayfabe, is the owner of the company. He will now be positioned up top, which means there will be general managers announced for each show. Those general managers will be revealed during the draft show next week. And that's pretty much all we've got to say on the matter right now. So you've been given a little bit of a tidbit information. You know where the championships are and what they're going to look like. Obviously, we'll try and bring it to you as quickly as possible once I do get the game. All depends on how the creation suite is. The shows are going to be bigger than last year. This past year, they've been one full match with a load of highlights. That's going to be expanding into 2 full matches for the 3 main brands. It will still only be 1 for Dynasty. Dynasty will follow the same format that we have been using for the last year. It's kind of a more relaxed show, and it gives me the opportunity to put out a 4th one every week as well, and separate the rosters a bit and kind of make sure that people just they get drafted and they never get seen, which is, there's been quite a few guys that are on the roster that have never been seen. As for the first 3 shows, when we come back, each and every single one of them is going to have a championship match on them. On Asylum, you will be seeing Dolph Ziggler defend the World Heavyweight Championship against, well, that's interesting because obviously John Cena won the #1 contendership for the World Heavyweight Championship. However, if John Cena is drafted to Revolt, then that changes things slightly. On Revolt, Seth Rollins will be defending the brand new, newly minted Revolution World title. Again, Dean Ambrose is the viable contender, having lost the old Revolution Championship, but if Dean Ambrose is, basically those 4 men are going to be involved in the World Championship matches. Now, if both Cena and Ambrose end up on the same show, then we'll don't worry about that situation then. As for the women's match on Horizon, you will see Legend Jezzy defend the Women's World Championship against the #1 contender, Claudia Thorne, and that is set. Also, there is an issue of the Patriot Championship held by Legend Jezzy, but that will be resolved in time. Of course, we'll do our best to get the brand new championships assigned to people as quickly as possible, so we can get the storylines moving forward. And I guess that's it for now. So, next week, I'll be bringing you the draft show. You'll get to see which brands of stars have been demoted to Dynasty, and they get their chance to kind of raise up back through the ranks. And you'll see where all the male stars have ended up. Also, I've been talking about the draft next week. Of course, that places us 1 week away from 2K17's release. There will also be another video next week. And if you've ever wanted to see yourself in a video game, pay attention. Make sure you catch that one. For now, my name has been the Ripper Danny V, and this has been a chat about the CWR. If you do enjoy this video, if you enjoy what I was just about to do my natural sign-off then, no. If you did enjoy what I'm planning to do for the CWR, make sure you hit that like button. It lets me know straight away that we're going off on a good foot. And, of course, if you want to see anything from Season 2, make sure you subscribe to catch the date, and that will be the best time because I will put out an announcement when I've decided on an official date to start the second season. Also, make sure you follow me on Twitter, and that will keep you updated on how I'm doing, progressing with the community creations. Obviously, everything I do, if you are brand new to this channel and you've found me through some magical reason, I don't know, obviously everything I do is customized. The name, the show, the logos, the arenas, you know, everything I do it all myself as well, with a little bit of input from my wife, female body creations, because I can't seem to make them. They always end up looking really disjointed. And I do obviously rely on community creations for real stars because I'm terrible at making them. But majoritively I do it on my own. So it takes some time to get it set up, and I've got, what, 13 championships to make this year, so it's going to be a little while trying to make sure everything is distinguished and unique and different and enjoyable. Yeah, I'm going big this year. I'm going to try and improve the graphic fidelity, the logos, everything else. Everything's going to have a brand new logo. As you've seen already, the Asylum logo has changed. I'm pointing there like it's still there. Of course it's not. I've taken that down ages ago. But yeah, the Asylum logo has changed, so you know, you expect to see the titles change with them. It's going to be fun building it all up. But for now, if you are brand new here, make sure you go back and watch the ends of as much as you want of the last of season 1. It has all been archived into unique playlists. Everything, you know, it's in one massive playlist, which I think is like 140 videos or something like that. Or they've been broken down into pay-per-view by pay-per-view cycle, and that's gonna be how I'm doing some of them this year. Although, of course, with 3 brands, not every brand is going to be on every pay-per-view, so I'll figure that out. But until then, thank you all for joining me, and I hope to see you when we start season 2, because I'm looking forward to it. I'm so excited, I couldn't even wait to make this video. Just so pumped to get it out there and just try and produce one of the best damn universe modes out there on YouTube, and the best work I've ever done. And your guys' support is making that possible. The support I've been shown over the past few months has made this incredibly possible, and has made me want to keep pushing to make sure we get this done. Until I see you next week, guys, take care, and remember to keep it sweet!